You know, niggas gotta get their priorities together. Got their mind on the wrong things, spending their money in the wrong way.
Trapaholics, real trap shit.
Say you need that car with the rims and a trunk, just like Jim. It's more than life. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Talk to him.
Say you need that LV bag with the belt and the hat.
That's all you got though.
It's more than life. Yeah.
Talk to him. Real.
Say you wanna turn up at the club, light some bottles, impress them girls. It's more than life.
Fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Good evening, everyone. This is Saints and Appetizers podcast, and I'm Ethan. And on today's menu, we have a UFC 276 reaction video. And man, my predictions didn't go as planned. I only got one pick went my way, and for a first video, it couldn't have gone any worse, honestly. But let's just get into this, and not to say let's get this over with, but let's just get right into it, and let's see how this goes. And maybe it'll be comedic a little bit, and maybe there'll be some comedic relief or something to it. But let's get right into it and see about the first fight on the main card. And the first one that I picked, I can't really say I was wrong because it ended up going to a no contest in the second round, towards the end of the second round. That was the bantamweight match between Pedro Munhoz and Sean O'Malley. I picked Pedro Munhoz to win that one, and I thought Pedro Munhoz was going to knock off Sean O'Malley. I thought he was going to maybe derail the Sean O'Malley hype train, and he ended up. I thought he was kind of on his way. I thought he won the first round. I actually thought he won the first round. That not much actually happened in the first round. Sean O'Malley didn't really land anything, but Pedro Munhoz, he didn't really land anything else either. But he was really the only one that landed any strikes. Not any punches or anything, but just a bunch of calf kicks and leg kicks. I think he was trying to do what Marlon Vera did in the only loss that Sean O'Malley did. I think he was trying to injure his calf or injure his leg, and maybe try to do the same kind of game plan as Marlon Vera, but he didn't accomplish that in the first two rounds. And then Sean O'Malley landed a groin strike that slowed things down. They got a little stoppage there for a moment in the first round, so there was also a stoppage due to that, other than the eye poke. And then in the second round, it looked like Sean O'Malley, the tide was turning maybe a little bit in the second round, and then the eye poke came, and there's some controversy there. Some people think of whether it was a legitimate eye poke, and some people didn't think it was that bad, and some people think it kind of just grazed. But in my opinion, sometimes a graze is worse than an actual just gouge, because those grazing eye pokes can actually just scratch the eye, and that can actually be worse than just gouging in. A scratch of that eye can actually be worse sometimes. But after two fouls like that, a groin strike and eye poke, I can see where Pedro Munhoz didn't want to continue. So I think I think maybe you can say that I was half right in that, maybe, but I don't think you could say I was wrong. So we'll just like the decision of the fight with my pick in that, my prediction it was a no contest. So we'll move on to the next fight. Um, the welterweight um, the welterweight match between Brian Barberena and Robbie Lawler. And maybe you could say I was half right on this one as well, but still, I did not pick the winner. I still did not pick the winner in this one as well. Uh, I said it was going to be a stand-up war, kind of set up to maybe get Robbie Lawler a knockout win, a devastating knockout, and it ended up being the fight of the night. Like I said, I thought it was going to probably be the best fight on the main card, and it did. It ended up being the best fight of the night, and it started out with Robbie Lawler, man, just piecing up and landing some hard shots on Barberena, and I thought for sure I was on my way of predicting this fight to a T. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna look like a genius for picking this fight. And but Barberena, man, he was just nonstop. He was just flurry. Like he wasn't landing the harder strikes, but he was flurrying just nonstop accumulation of strikes, and that outweighed the hard shots that Robbie Lawler was landing throughout the first and the majority of the second round, and that ended up overwhelming Robbie Lawler. And towards the end, Robbie Lawler couldn't last that last 10 seconds, and I think it was Herb Dean that was the referee, and he had to come in and save him. And once again, I did not pick the winner in that welterweight bout, but it was a fun fight to watch. So moving on to the some could say the middleweight title elimination match between Alex Pereira and Sean Strickland, and that was an interesting match just just because of all the history, I guess, between Alex Pereira and the middleweight champion Alex Adonijay, and like I said, all the talking from Sean Strickland back and forth in the press conference between Adonijay and Strickland. And I predicted that a little bit, that Sean Strickland probably wasn't paying enough attention to his opponent. And like I said, once again, I think I predicted that a little bit half right, but did not predict the winner once again. I said maybe if Sean Strickland wasn't taking his opponent serious enough, that he may get caught and knocked out. And that is what happened, but I did not choose him to win, or I did not choose Alex Pereira to win. I picked Sean Strickland to win, as taking him as the UFC veteran, because I think he was on a 6-fight win streak, but I don't think he was taking Pereira serious, and he just walked in like a zombie towards Pereira and got knocked out in the first round, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the first round, got knocked out, devastatingly knocked out. He just got KO'd, and that should set up. I think that will probably set Alex Pereira up for a middleweight title match against Adonijay, and he has a long history with Adonijay. I think they have fought twice in K1 kickboxing. Pereira's already knocked him out once, or knocked him out once, and then has a decision win over him. And a lot of people talk about how when he knocked him out, Adonijay was already dominating him and was on his way to beating him in impressive fashion in a decision win, and don't consider that a win. But I think when you knock someone out, you beat them, and then he obviously beat him again in decision. So I think Pereira may have Adonijay's number, but obviously kickboxing and mixed martial arts are different, so it should be interesting when they face in the cage. Okay, moving on to the co-main event between Alexander and Max Holloway. And I think this is the one I missed completely on. I was completely wrong on this. Wasn't even close in picking this one at all. I picked Max Holloway, and I was going off the fact that I was thinking, oh, they fought twice. They went to unanimous decisions. Alexander won unanimous decisions both times when they fought before, and a lot of times, or actually went unanimous decision first time and then went split decision the second time. And there was controversy to whether Holloway won the second time. A lot of people thought he did. And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe Holloway is kind of got his number on, maybe he might get him. It's hard to beat someone three times, kind of like they say in the NFL. It's hard to beat a team three times, and maybe that'll wane true this time. And that was not the case at all. Like Alexander Volkov looked like the faster fighter, the stronger fighter. Like anything Holloway threw just didn't have any speed on it, didn't have any power on it. It just nothing. It just was not. And Holloway just didn't look impressive at all. I don't know what it was, and it just was. Alexander Volkov just looked amazing. Besides not getting the finish, no submission or knockout, he just dominated Max Holloway. Cut him open early in the fight. I don't think that really affected Holloway. It looked like a nasty cut, but I don't think it affected his vision or anything like that. The cut man handled it pretty well between rounds, but yeah, that was very impressive showing by Alexander Volkov, and he retained the title pretty easily. Saw him in the press conference after the fight, didn't have a mark on him, and got a lot of fighters wanting to move up in weight, or he's wanting to move up in weight, or fighters are wanting to move down in weight to try to fight him. So it looks like he's maybe cleared out the featherweight division, so he's trying to search for fighters to face him now. So that should be interesting how that all plays out. And so should be very interesting how that works, how Dana White tries to build all that up for money fights, because that looks like that's what that'll be. Champ champs is what he's trying to build his legacy on now, which that's what people want to see. All right, so now we're moving on to the main event, and this is the only fight I picked right. This is the only one I picked right, and I think I got it to the T. I was exactly right on this one, and this is the middleweight championship bout between Israel Donajee and Jared Cannonier, and Israel Donajee came out to the Undertaker's theme, and just because of that, I had to wear my WrestleMania 9 shirt to show some respect to Israel Donajee. Had to do it because he saved me on this prediction reaction show, because it looked like no one else would. So I had to save a little bit of credibility for me, because man, if not, I've been down real bad. And but he didn't look like much of a killer besides that. But he did exactly what I said he would do. He didn't put himself at risk. He didn't do anything to expose himself to Jared Cannonier's power. He definitely just point fighted him and stayed out of harm's way. He definitely wasn't trying to go in there and do anything crazy and try to get knocked out by Cannonier. And Cannonier still made it competitive, though. I think you could maybe argue that. I'm trying to think if it was the third or the fourth round. Can't really remember, but Cannonier won one of those later rounds. I think I think it was the third round that he won, and that was when Cannonier finally realized that he had really no chance of winning the striking game. And Cannonier started wrestling and trying to bully um, bully Donajay a little bit and trying to take him down and push him up against the cage and try to throw some strikes off the break. And that was really the only success Cannonier had. And I don't he never executed one of those takedowns and never had really that much success. But I think if he would have went in there with maybe a different game plan and tried to use his strength and power a little bit, that maybe he would have had a better chance of winning. But that's not what he went in there trying to do. But Jared Cannonier, he still put on a more impressive showing than some of the guys that have fought Adonijay recently. And I think if he would have went in with a similar game plan as Jan Blachowicz did when he fought Adonijay, but not saying everyone can do what Jan Blachowicz did to Adonijay, that maybe he would have had more success. But at least I got one of these picks right. That's all I'm happy. I'm happy about that. So I think I'll take my winnings, and which I'm not a gambler. This card right here is exactly why I'm not a riverboat gambler. And and to add to this card, after the loss that Robbie Lawler had, I'm kind of surprised. I was a little surprised that he didn't retire, because there was two retirements on this card after some losses. Donald Cerrone, he retired after his loss to Jim Miller, which I don't think a lot of people were surprised by that. And then Jessica I retired after her loss to Macy Barber. So could have been, wouldn't have been, I don't think it would have surprised a lot of people if there had been three retirements on this card. So shout out and respect to those two fighters for throwing down their gloves and throwing down their cowboy hat for Donald Cerrone. And so I think that's all I got for this UFC 276 reaction show. And with that, all I gotta say is check, please. You guys have a good evening.